Hello and welcome, everyone. We are very excited today to announce one of our latest innovations. Um, we have been working hard behind the scenes uh, to bring you this presentation, this sneak preview of smart issues. So I hope that everyone had a wonderful day already. Welcome if you're new. Glad to have you back if you have visited our webinars previously. My name is Christian, and I am joined today by Andre, my colleague, for this sneak preview. We have some exciting things to show you. So we're very glad with all the interest in our products, as many of you have signed up around the world. So I suggest that we get started. If you have any issues with the audio, you can write your comments in the question field. My colleagues can take care of you and assist you in getting the best settings. I hope the audio is okay for all of you and that you can see the screen. This webinar will be recorded, so all attendees, as well as everyone who signed up, will receive a recording link after this meeting, so you can review if it went a little bit too fast for you. So without further ado, let's get started on our presentation for smart issues and how it will automate clash management. So here at BIMcollab, we find that clash detection is a wonderful solution to improve the quality of your BIM models and therefore also your BIM strategy within projects. Our position as being not only a model validation tool, but also an issue management platform has led us to create this unique feature, which we feel will bring a lot of benefits for you and your projects. So Smart Issues is an intelligent solution to the time-consuming clash management. Although many companies acknowledge that clash detection is a helpful way to automate the process of finding conflicts between models or within the BIM models from a single stakeholder, but it tends to be a somewhat limited process in some cases. So the topics that we cover today are, of course, the introduction of our smart issues. We will show you in a live presentation how to create smart issues from our BIMcollab Zoom application, the advantages you have with the combination or integration with our BIMcollab Cloud. More importantly, we also talk about what comes after the clash detection. So how do you rework model revisions and tie that into the issues and the clash detection? So let's get started with the smart issues. A big problem could be seen in clash management that when you have similar systems that find errors or conflicts, that you have a number of clashes, a lot of clashes perhaps. To be able to get them resolved, it's very logical to group them and assign them to issues as we already provide with our BIMcollab cloud system for other validation tools. So let's say that you have a number of active issues derived from a clash result. In some cases, you could also have different team members running the clash detection, but they can have different clash rules, which leads to a different type of results with different numbers of clashes found. How to integrate both is a what obscure process. So which clashes have already been reported? So it's mostly a manual check, having a list, comparing that, what has been reported already and what has not, to create additional issues. There's also an issue with, or a challenge with, the recheck the second run of these clash detections. So let's say that you do another run on revised models and you have a different number of results. So what happened to the clashes that are now missing from this list? So which issues are solved? Are they completely solved? So this could also be a challenge. Smart issues know which clashes they represent. They can also check the status automatically when you zoom to them, so they can identify if issues are actually resolved. We also added selectable color-coded clash boxes to indicate the statuses of these reported clashes. And it also helps you to prevent duplicate clash reporting, allowing for more collaborative workflows. So not only does this translate to the viewpoints within our BIMcollab Zoom application, it's also visible directly on the BIMcollab cloud for the entire team. On top of that, these smart issues can even be automatically checked, updated, and closed when new model revisions come in. So it will also automate a part of this process. So let's start with the BIMcollab Zoom part, where we will be creating issues. So already BIMcollab Zoom lets you define and manage clash rules so that you have a very streamlined approach to finding issues for specific topics assigned to different disciplines. So these can be customized and created for project-specific needs or even company standards. So in this process, a result might lead to a high number of clashes, which can be logically grouped to assign to issues to assign to team members. So multiple clashes can be linked to a singular issue. With smart issues, on creation, this class information is stored within the issue itself. So the issue knows which clashes it contains. So it also has information about the latest clash status. So this is helpful for a number of reasons, one of which is to see your progress. So what have I already reported with my clash detection? What do I still need to do? Which ones did I ignore because I didn't find them priority enough? And of course, which one did I report, even to which issue? Of course, this is very helpful information to prevent duplicate reporting, but also to keep track of your own progress of processing all the clash results. We even visualize this in the 3D viewpoint with our color-coded clash boxes. So not only can you see the intersecting volume, you can also see the status of the reported or unreported clashes to issues. And we can also even see when we do a rerun, which one of them have been resolved and to which issue. Overall, allowing you to keep track of all the issues and the clash results that you have processed up to that. Because of our integration with issue management, we also exchange, or it's part of the BIMcollab ecosystem. So this information transfers, of course, also to the BIMcollab cloud, where you can see the color-coded clash boxes. You can even see the clash information attached to the issues. With our integrations for all the major BIM tools, modelers can pick up on these issues, of course, and get them solved with the BCF managers that we provide within our platform. So I would like to give you a live demo of this from BIMcollab Zoom. So this is my example project, and a small disclaimer before we begin. This model was an in-progress model. So the conflicts that are inside this model are created intentionally by us for demonstration purposes, but they do not reflect the end result of its authors and stakeholders that worked on this project. So let's review the model. Of course, it's not a very small model. So it does contain a high number of components with intricate relations between them. So we would like to have an automated process to define the quality of the design, the engineering, and all the BIM information inside. So for this purpose, I have created a rule set that I can transfer to the BIMcollab cloud, but I can run this in a batch to check the model for any inconsistencies. So by running this clash detection, I of course get a lot of results, as you can see. This usually is not 10 to 15 clashes. No, it's probably more in hundreds or sometimes even thousands of clashes, depending on your project. So if I run through them, I can of course visualize any inconsistencies like duplicates within architectural models. I have some results on MEP clashing with the architect's model. I have some clashes within the MEP models itself, and I also have clashes within the structural model. So for this demo, I will be focusing on the structural part. Andre will be joining us shortly to be the MEP expert and assist me in running our clash management on this project. So clicking on one of these results gives me an overview of all the grouped issues. Of course, I can have multiple groupings by checkboxing one of these values, which gives me a better or less grouping. In this case, double clicking on a group presents me either one or more issues. So in this case, 4 clashes are grouped together in this one group. I can decide to ignore any one of these by simply selecting and ignoring a clash when I don't feel it's important enough. If others are still valid, I can of course create and report issues directly from the clash results. These issues are transferred to the issues part of BIMcollab Zoo, where you are able to recreate the viewpoint, transfer it to the cloud, so modeling stakeholders can fix the issues using the BCF managers. Of course, in this process, you can already see that instead of the color red, I now have changed this to the color orange, which means that I have reported this group of clashes. So I can continue by scrolling down and having a look at all the issues within this model for the structural rules. I can decide to either select one or even a couple of issues and report them in batches, giving them similar values, assignments, etc. So in this case, I will just pre-select a couple of them to create more issues, to also show you how the progress of my clash reporting is visualized. So we now have more issues assigned. If I click on the top part, I can see that I have 68 of 216 clashes resolved. And I can also visualize that in the 3D viewpoint to see that I have still some red to cover. So in this case, I would like to report this to the team. By syncing the issues to the BIMcollab cloud, they will also receive a issue number. And this will also translate to the list that I've just shown you. So going back to the clash result, running the rule, I can see that it now has grayed out a couple of these issues. And you can actually see the number or to which issue they were reported. If I were to even group differently, maybe by story level, I can still see the clashes reported to issues and the number they contain. And it also prevents me from duplicate reporting, even with different groupings. So let's put this back. If you want to continue just on the unhandled, we also have filtering options that shows me all the unhandled or unreported ones, the ones that I ignored, and the ones that I reported. So giving me good insight of the progress that I have within BIMcollab Zoom. So let's jump back to our presentation. Before I show you the updated project, so on the web application, you can see that I have uploaded a couple of issues that I just reported. And drilling down into them, I can also see that I have numerous Clash results linked to this particular issue. Of course, I have different types in my case, so I can also easily filter from manually created issues to Clash detection reported issues by switching the filter. So the next topic that I want to cover is cloud collaboration. By integrating both systems, validation and issue management together, and also working through the cloud with our BIMcollab project, we can actually also see not only the progress that my colleagues are making, so because the information is stored, someone else can also see what has already been reported and can pick up on the tasks that where I have left off. Also, in the same procedure, you prevent duplicate reporting between different team members. So this is potentially a big time saver because you don't have to do it by a single person for the entire project. You can share the workload this way and speeding up the process by doing so. So I also want to address the common mistakes that we avoid here. So our clashes are set to issues and they are independent of the way that the rules are set up. So in this example, I can have different rules running in the project. One that checks slabs against wall with a fire rating of 120 minutes. And I can have one that checks walls against a precast slab. But there could be similar components in both cases, so clashes can be found twice. Also, the grouping method would allow me to create groups on clash results that are similar, and clash results can exist in both groups, which are also duplicates. I want to mention this because this is not just an inconvenience. If clashes are assigned to stakeholders in the project, they are considered tasks, and redundant tasks are expensive and could be very bad for morale if issues are continuously assigned to you when you have already fixed them. So for this part, I would like to invite my colleague Andre, our MEP expert on the project, to show you how the collaboration works and also to see how his process runs through the cloud. So thank you, Andre, for being here.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon. Good afternoon from my side. I see my screen has been shared. So as Chris mentioned, I will join today's webinar having the focus on the MEP discipline. And as you can see, I have Zoom open. I have the same models as Chris has on his side. I've connected to the BIMcollab cloud project. I will sync to the cloud to get the latest changes that Chris has been doing so far today. Let me go directly to the issues. And I will filter down to see the clashes reported in issues that Chris has been doing so far. So as you can see, I can directly double click on one of these viewpoints and get the same feedback as Chris has reported. The orange clash boxes show the incorporated reported clashes. The title and these issues show me which clash rules, in this case, and sorting mechanism Chris has used. So you can see that even without running the clash rules yourself. So I did not run the clash rules yet. Let me do so. So I will rerun all the clash rules that are available to me at this moment, and I will get a focus on my job today. And of course, let's have a quick look where Chris has left. So he has been doing the structural rule sets on the walls and the slabs, and giving an overview here. Of course, I can see directly where and what he has been doing. I have the same information on my computer here with the same reporting and unreported, or even of course ignored clashes. Such a helpful feedback for me to either join directly in and take over from Chris, or as he has asked me for today, put my expertise also to this project. So let me jump right in, and I will focus on the MEP clashes. Having the same idea of having clashes that are visible and visualized throughout BIMcollab Zoom on my side, doing the same thing, having the possibility to report the clashes when I think that I do need to do so, having the possibility to run through the whole system and focus on the ones that I think are most important to get. Whoa, that was the wrong, I'm sorry, that was the wrong button on my side. So I will report these clashes as well. Issues will be generated and the clashes will be embedded into the smart issues. I will get these ones as well. As you can see, my screen is also filling up with all the clashes and the clash grouping I want to report, and having this then assigned to Chris and generate these clashes and report it to the team. As an MEP specialist, of course, I can have my own specific rule sets, which might investigate the models in a complete different way. As Chris already mentioned, we can have different rules. So I have one of my specialized MEP rule sets here, giving me also, again, multiple clashes, and I can even use a different grouping mechanism to focus clearly on my task, which might be having certain clashes that are on certain levels for today. So I can have an investigation on the clashes on level and on grid grouping, report as we go along. And of course, when there is a combination of already reported clashes from earlier work, I can see that clearly also on my screen. And what I really do not want is to duplicate these reports. I don't want to report it twice. And this is where the BIMcollab smart issues help you. When I report this specific clash group here, the system prevents that these clashes will be reported twice. Even if I have not synced yet to the cloud, I will generate these issues out of this clash report. And as you see, the viewpoint has been changed. Let me quickly go to this issue here. This issue, this smart issue here, only incorporates this single clash out of this grouping mechanism because the other ones already have been embedded into a smart issue. So it is a system that lets you focus on the already reported clashes and prevents you from reporting clashes twice. Our way of reporting is independent to single clash rules and independent on your grouping. So this is so awesome that even by having different clash rules and having different way of visualizing, I am ensured that I will not communicate the same clashes over and over again. Smart issues prevent you from duplicate reporting. So Chris, I will continue here from my side, investigating the model even further. I will hand over back to you, and back to you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Andre, for that insightful demonstration. So let me take the screen. So as we saw in the live demonstration, Andre is working on other class results. You can even pick up on my work. You can see my progress, and we are even the system prevents us from reporting things twice. So for the next part, I would like to address a very important topic, which is actually what comes after finding these clashes. So we have found them, we assigned them to issues and to people on the project. But of course, the goal of clash detection is to improve our models, to create better models. So we need to have a system in place that can actually trace these clashes when rework comes in. So for this part, I would like to show you the process of receiving revised models. Zoom already works with a dedicated source folder for project files, which can be transferred through either one of these platforms. So we can synchronize the model information to BIMcollab Zoom. So in the next step, I would like also to explain why the feature was destined to be called Smart Issues, because with the information they provide, they can actually run a sort of mini clash detection in the background and actually validate themselves. They can even update the viewpoint to allow you to view what has been solved from the clashes it contained and which ones are still active or should be fixed. So green indicates the clashes that are resolved by new models, and the orange ones are still open and need to be solved still. Because we have this intelligence within the smart issues, we can even run an auto update directly from the issue panel within BIMcollab Zoom. So we can have the issues scanned themselves, see if all clashes are resolved, even choose to actually close out the issues if they are all solved. You can add comments, and you can even update all of the viewpoint information to be displayed to all team members to the BIMcollab project. So this could be your starting point. Everything was reported. The second run of your clash detection already solves a couple of these issues. A third one will show you even more green. So more green means better models, better process for you. So you can even look to see how it's documented within an individual issue. So we have the clash information. We can even see that it now has indicated on which date and time it was resolved. And we also have information or documentation of every step of all the reruns of your clash detection. So yeah, smart issues will actually go way further than just simple clash detection. So let me demonstrate this. So jumping back to BIMcollab Zoom, I still have the old versions, but my project folder has an update. I'm still in the session, so I can reload. If I were to restart BIMcollab Zoom the next day and new models have been revised on our project folder, it will automatically load the latest files. But in this case, I will simply reload it because I'm still in the session. So how to determine which clashes are resolved, which is of course the challenge in a situation before there were smart issues. In this case, I can simply jump directly to my issue panel, click on an issue, and have it run a sort of mini clash detection in the background, indicating that the new models have resolved some of these clashes within this issue. Of course, other ones are completely green. Of course, I can use my own determination of which clashes are actually resolved, but I can also automate this process on all the issues that I have transferred. So first, let me pick up on the issues that Andre also provided. for us. So as you can see, Andre has reported some MEP clashes as well. So let us run the automated update. I can also add a comment here to say, well, this has been resolved by Zoom, or just any comment. I can check or uncheck this closed issues, but of course I will leave it on for now to also show you the result of this automation. So all the smart issues are now identifying the models and the clashes in the background and will update their viewpoints accordingly. So as you can see, all of our viewpoints have been updated automatically. I can even see that some of the issues that Andre already made within the MEP check have also been resolved. And of course, I can synchronize this to our cloud environment. So the issues, of course, live on our project. So let's update that so that we can see all the issues here, and update from BIMcollab Zoom to inform the team of the progress that we all have made. So being able to automate this process while still keeping the quality of your work in check for complex issues. So you can either filter for issues that are really clear cut, that you can automatically resolve and close out these issues. Some might be a little bit more complex, so you can add a workflow where you filter out issues that can be closed automatically and the ones that you want to investigate more thoroughly before closing out. So let's refresh our project. As you can see, some of these clashes have now updated with their latest statuses. I can also investigate, see the clash management information here on which ones were resolved and which ones still need to be taken care of. And I can run through the entire history of all the clash runs that were needed to essentially, in the end, close out this issue. So, we hope that this brings you a lot of benefit, of course, speeding up the process of this sometimes complex clash management, allowing you to collaborate, of course, and keeping the quality of your work also with this automation. So let me run you through some key takeaways. Smart issues offer a unique integration of model validation and issue management. The main benefits we see is having clear insight in the progress of your class reporting tasks, a smooth collaboration with other colleagues for a high number of clashes, while still avoiding the redundant task challenge, automated updating and documenting of any issues that you filter or want to update, which all leads to better models in less time. We also want to share some feedback that we already received. I think we can have a lot of benefit here. Of course, working with multiple people or giving you the option to share the workload is, of course, a real time saver. And it also gives you peace of mind by having to, not having to rely on lists to compare of issues that were reported, but gaining insight directly from the programs. So what's next? Today was our first sneak preview. On June the 3rd, we will start by also rolling out new webinars for different languages that you see on the screen. The release for the BIMcollab clouds to prepare for the smart issues will start on June 5th, rolling to June 8th, when BIMcollab Zoom will be updated and the entire ecosystem is ready for smart issues. So all you Zoom license holders will automatically be able to update to take advantage of the smart issues that will be added to the BIMcollab Zoom application. If you are a Zoom free user, you can request a new trial if you have trialed Zoom before after June 8th. So the limit will be removed, so you can retrial BIMcollab Zoom again after June 8th, including the smart issues. For everyone who is interested in adding this to your BIM strategy, we have a promotion which will run until June the 30th to buy Zoom licenses for 1 year, but only pay for 10 months. So a substantial discount at that. So yeah, make sure that you make a decision before June 30th to take advantage of our promotional campaign. If you have any questions or you want to have a more personalized online session, feel free to reach out to us. You can do this by email or through our website. And yeah, we can discuss how we can improve your BIM workflow on clash management with our new feature set. So for me, I want to thank everyone for attending. And of course, Andre, we will keep the line open for any questions that you might have, as long as there are questions. So I already see that there are several questions. So yeah, please reach out to us. The recordings will be sent to you. And yeah, thank you very much for attending this webinar, and hope to see you on BIMcollab. Have a great day.